Hello, everyone. This is James Templeton with Templeton Wellness Foundation. It's great to be with you today again. And I'm sitting next to a fella that I've interviewed twice before. This will be the third time. And Tom Miller. And Tom Miller's from Texas, and he was up in Idaho visiting some relatives. And he said, look, I'm going to be up in the area. I'll come by and we'll have an interview. So that's what we're going to do. And Tom, it's great to see you. And, we run into each other every once in a while down in Texas. When I'm down there, we were at a show down there I guess it was 1st of October. And saw you down there.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And it's always good to see you. And I met Tom many years ago. Not many years ago, but a few years ago. I don't know how long ago, 5 years ago, something like
It's
that.
been around.
It seems
7
like,
years.
with COVID and all that seems like a long time, but I met Tom. He had a restaurant. It was an organic restaurant, healthy place. And my daughter went in to have lunch one day and she says, Dad, you gotta meet Tom Miller. He's a pancreatic cancer survivor. And I said, oh, wow, and he's doing really well. And he's he started working with Dr. Gonzalez, which was someone I always looked up to because I heard a lot of great things about him. And, the late, great Dr. Gonzalez. And he was working out of New York, out of the city, actually in Manhattan, but he had an office there, and Tom found out about him. But we're going to get into some things that he's been doing, and he's doing great. You can see it's going on 13 years with pancreatic cancer, and that's a real blessing for him and for everyone else to know that having, cancer, no matter what it is, what kind it is, it's never too late. There's so much you can do. It takes a lot of time and effort and work and making a lot of changes. But Tom is a prime example of look how good he looks, and he's the example. So, and I've interviewed other people. Check out our other interviews, people that have been on the Gonzalez protocol. Many of them are now working with Dr. Linda Isaacs. I've interviewed her, and she's wonderful. She's a wonderful doctor, and in person, and really cares about people. And she worked with Dr. Gonzalez for 25 years before he passed away, and so she's really an expert. And anyway, we're going to get into that, but first I want to tell everyone, just have a little commercial, I guess, for my book, I Used to Have Cancer, How I Found My Own Way Back to Health. This is my book. This is about my story. This is about how I overcame stage 4 melanoma 38 plus years ago, going on 39 years. And, I learned real quick, after I went through kind of the mill on the conventional medicine mill, if you will. And I talk about all this in my book, all my experiences, everything back then, everything I do now, I've learned a lot. And, I learned a lot from people I've interviewed, from my experience over these years, and from people like Tom. I've learned a lot, and I share a lot of these things in the book. And I think you'll be inspired. I think it'll give you some inspiration, because it's a scary thing having cancer, no matter what stage it is, what time it is in your life, it's scary. And as I said, there's a lot you can do nowadays, a lot more than what I knew about back when I started all this. But thanks for watching. And also check out Templeton List. TempletonList.com is our restaurant guide, the healthiest restaurants in America. We've got over 7,000 of these now out there that for you to be able to find easily. It works off Google Maps. You can use it on, go with your phone or on the computer, and it just takes you right there, gives you directions. It's a great tool. We've done a lot. We've spent a lot of time researching. These restaurants were continuing. Before we know it, will be 10,000. There's a lot of them out there. You just have to know, and you got to also know what you can eat and can't eat. So it's not like just go in there. It's like going to a health food store. Let's go to the health food store. Oh, everything's in here must be healthy. That's not true. You got to know what you can eat. You got to watch certain things, and that's up to you to figure out. But we've done the work. So check it out, templetonlist.com. Check out our other interviews, our expert interviews. We've got a ton of them, and we've also got a lot of great stories like Tom's story and my story. And I know you'll be inspired, but the key is to educate yourself so that you can have the information you need to make a smarter decision, after being diagnosed, and decide on what you really want to do. And only you will know in your heart, what you need to do. And, but educate yourself and pray about it, meditate about it, make the smart decision and dig in, just roll up your sleeves and dig in. So that's my advice. And, but anyway, Tom, it's so nice to have you here again.
It's good to be here.
And life's great, isn't it?
It is.
And it's every day is a blessing,
Yeah.
It's just, sometimes we forget that, and we kind of get down in the dumps over things that don't really matter. And what really matters is your health and well-being. And, I know for a fact that when I was really ill at one point, that all this stuff that most people think is important, it's not important.
Right.
What's important is every day, the breath you take every day, and walking in the woods and smelling the flowers and hearing the birds and things like that. I mean, it's just nature, to me, is as close as you can get to God or the higher place, and
right.
And that is very, very, I think, true with a lot of us that have gone through this. Don't you agree?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Tom, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and Tom has a very interesting background, and we've interviewed him before a couple of times, but I don't think we talked about his background and what he was doing when he found out about this cancer. And tell him a little bit. I mean, you were a law enforcement officer, and you were under a lot of stress, and you were I mean, I know that I've never been in law enforcement, but I know, especially in these days, it's very stressful. And stress is a big, big deal when it comes to cancer, and lifestyle. And I just interviewed someone yesterday, an expert that talked about how stress, spikes the blood sugar, and all that. It's
Right.
just, it's not healthy. But anyway, tell us a little bit about your background, what you used to do.
Yeah, I was with the Harris County Sheriff's Department for 25 years.
And that's in Houston area.
Houston area, yeah. And throughout my career, I spent some time in the jail, working in the jail. That environment was a little bit daunting. It's a different different style. You get thrust into that,
Mhm.
and you don't know, you're not prepared for what you have to deal with. You learn as you go. You get trained in it. It was a good career inside the jail, but ultimately I went out to the streets, worked the streets for 15, 16 plus years. And the way that patrol works is a lot of it is routine, but then you get these escalated cases, where you're
Mhm.
chasing somebody, or you're looking, searching a house, or
Mhm.
doing stuff that you get your adrenaline flowing.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
you-
important to consider the stress levels when you talk about what you've been exposed to throughout your life. And
Yeah, well, you've had a lot of it, and I'm sure have seen a lot, and things you didn't probably want to see.
right. Well, it was a good career.
Yeah.
I'm blessed that it was a good career. I didn't have any kind of issues going through it. God was with me, so I feel that was a paramount.
Mhm.
And he led me through that career. So I feel like I helped a lot of people along the way. Had good people to work with. That was the best thing, was the camaraderie. Having that as a basis was what kept you going. You work with good people, you work with a good supervisors, be a good supervisor. We look forward to going to work. Even though it was something that a lot of people wouldn't choose to do, wouldn't want to put their life on the line for someone else. But that's what we swore to do. So it was good.
Well, so you were diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and that was kind of the end of that career.
Right.
And then you ended up, I guess, reneging on any kind of chemotherapy also.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was searching alternative treatments, got referred to Dr. Gonzalez, met with him, immediately decided that's the route I wanted to go. His success rate was paramount. It was huge. And that at that time, it was about an 85% success rate.
Wow,
that's with people dropping out, of course, affects that number. But the resources that he had available for people to look into, it was easy for me to make the decision. Just kind of prayed through it.
So, as far as seeing Dr. Gonzalez, he had a lot of success, but you got to really stick with it, don't you? You have to really make up your mind that you're going to do whatever it takes. And if it doesn't work for you, it won't work for anybody else. That's the attitude I kind of developed, and I've seen the people that do the best are those kind of people. Because if you're going to see a doctor and you drop out, like Tom said, and you just say, oh, I can't do this any longer. Oh, well, I'm not having the fun that I used to have, and certain fun that I like or did or whatever. I can't do this anymore, or you have pressure from your family or pressure from who knows who, and those people aren't going to do well.
Right.
Most of the time. I mean, it could be an exception, but they just don't. And I know now you work with Dr. Linda Isaacs,
right,
which worked with him, as we said earlier, for 25 plus years, and as his partner, and now she practices in I think it's Austin, Texas now.
Right.
And so after Dr. Gonzalez passed away, then you immediately started working with her, right?
I did. Unfortunately, everyone is, going to go at some time. So Dr. Gonzalez had a heart attack. It was about 7 years ago. So it was unexpected. Everyone was, taken aback by it. It was tough.
Yeah.
We had a good rapport. Dr. Gonzalez and I had met for several years, and I knew Linda Isaacs from the office and seen her a few times. But she knew everything that was going on with the patients that Nick was seeing, and took me right in. So it was nothing to transition over into her care. And she's great. She's great at what she does. She's got the knowledge and the intelligence to and the fortitude, to see this program continue.
I know she takes it very seriously.
Yes.
And she wants to make sure that she's working with people that really take it seriously also. And, I think she was the first doctor I interviewed. That tells you who I thought was important out there, and
Right.
when I started interviewing people, you were the first person that I interviewed.
Yes.
And she was the first professional I interviewed. Why? Because I've heard so many good things from back when I was diagnosed, not too long after. I was on a macrobiotic diet. I was living on the East Coast in a macrobiotic facility, teaching facility, and living and working. And I met people through other people that had gone to see Dr. Gonzalez, and they were doing great. And this is probably in 1990 or so was when I met these first people that I knew that did the Gonzalez protocol. But, this originated from Dr. William Donald Kelly, that was in a Texas dentist or a orthodontist, I think. Anyway, so this program, and Dr. Gonzalez was taken with it, and spent a lot of time with Dr. Kelly, and I think probably took it to a higher level and all that. But I just heard great things, so I was always interested in it.
Yeah.
And I always said, if I ever need to go see someone else, and if I ever, have an issue, I'm going to see Dr. Gonzalez. And, and I've had friends that had issues, and I told them to go contact Dr. Gonzalez. Some did, some don't. Some, it's hard for people. They get so caught up in the conventional medicine thing, and they're afraid and frightened and all that. But you just knew, I guess, in your deep inside, that this was what you needed to do after you. That's kind of how I was.
Yeah.
And you just sort of know, don't you?
Yeah, it was something that it hits you hard when you're diagnosed with cancer.
Mhm.
You start to wonder. They put the fear into you, that this needs to be taken out right away. Typically it's, you do the surgery, they want to hit you with the chemotherapy and the radiation if you need it. I didn't want any part of that. I knew in my heart that I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to do the biopsy that they wanted to do. There's a lot of things that, I visited, MD Anderson. My dad was saying, you live in Texas,
Yeah.
you're closest to one of the best institutes in the country. Why don't you go there? I said, well, I visited, and I don't believe in the way that they want to treat. And I prayed through it. I knew this was the way I needed to go. I took the protocol that Nicholas had given to me, and I took it to them. They were interested in it. They took probably 30 minutes to make copies of it and go over it, and probably studied it. But to me, it was important to get the word out, to share as many people as I could.
Yeah.
This is the route I wanted to go, and if you need help, I'll help you.
Well, once you found out about it, you probably started to get a little excited, right? And
I
started to feel like, hey, I think that this is, it gives you a little hope,
It does.
because when and I'm not against conventional medicine. We talk a lot about, natural treatments and here, but, I'm not against it because I did some myself. But, and Tom didn't. I actually had a little chemotherapy, but my body wasn't responding, and I eventually just had to get up and leave. And I talked about this in my book, but I just knew in my heart and soul that I wasn't going to make it if I stayed there, because I was getting weaker and weaker and losing weight, and a lot of people were not doing well, in the hospital that I had been talking to, and some weren't making it, and a lot of them were dying from other things like pneumonia and kidney failure, not the treatments.
Right.
I mean, not the cancer, but from probably the treatments, the weakening and they're already in a weakened state because they had, if you have cancer, usually your immune system's weakened, and your body is not at the top level that it needs to be, to have good health, or you wouldn't be having these issues probably. But, the thing is that for those out there that are listening, there's not a lot of good things to say about the kind of cancer that you had. Pancreatic cancer is kind of considered by many doctors, it's not if, it's when.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be like that. Like I said earlier, I've interviewed several people that have worked with Dr. Gonzalez and Dr. Isaacs that are doing great, as far as I know, to this day, and 20, 30 years later. And, and I know they have some great case studies. I think that's how they do it. The case studies are, they're, by their by their patients and people that have done well, and they're the ones that really, take it seriously like you have. Now, tell us a little bit about, just in a nutshell, your daily regimen. I know we've talked about this before, but I just want people to know that, we're not giving them false hope. It takes work
Yes, it
and
does.
dedication and a lot of changes in your life. But, if you want to live and you want to survive, for hopefully many years to come, it's up to you. But tell us a little bit about what you do first thing in the morning. What would for you? I know everybody's individually different. Everybody doesn't do exactly. There's a certain diet that you are using, and everyone are taking in, and I know everybody's a little different, and based on the different metabolic profile typing, I guess you could say, based on your personality, based on your metabolism, based on probably your type of cancer, based on a lot of things. So once you go into this program, they consider a lot of this, and then they give you a special diet based on, everything that they've had, 25, 30, 40 years of experience with,
Right, right.
So what would, for you with pancreatic cancer, for example, what would be like the first thing you do in the morning?
Well, I hydrate myself. It's important to get hydrated. Drink a lot of water. I'll drink some lemon water. Add some, a little bit of vitamin to it. I eat a good breakfast. This morning I had eggs, and I seek out things that are going to be nutritious for me. If I can't have, let's back up. I'm a moderate vegetarian. I can have turkey once a week. I can have fish for protein, but a lot of times I'll look for other things that are out there. There's a product called Beyond Beef, and it's not supposed to have any of the, glyphosates. Like, is that the correct word for it?
Glutamines?
No, it's a pesticide that they
Yeah,
treat.
yeah,
with,
from the Roundup and
But it's a safe product. It's pea and rice.
pea and rice protein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's plant-based. And I had that this morning. I'll, have some fruit with that as well. Lots of fruit. It's a diet that, a lot of people were, telling me, oh, but the sugar and fruit, sugar is bad for you. It is bad as far as taking raw sugar into your body, but fruits, Dr. Gonzalez said, hey, you don't have any issues. You can eat as much fruit as you want. There's no problem with that. So, juicing, I do a little bit of juicing. I used to do a lot when we first got on the protocol.
Juicing with
Carrot juice.
carrot juice and other vegetables.
Yeah, you put some, like there'd be lemon with it, oranges, grapefruits, and make your own juice.
But this is different for different people with this program.
Yes.
Some people maybe would eat red meat, 3 times a day, or one time a day, and some people don't as much.
Right.
It just depends on your kind of cancer, but he's got the pancreatic cancer protocol probably, and it's based on his autonomic nervous system and all that. So it's all configured by the doctor, and so everybody's individually different. So go ahead.
I drink alkaline water throughout the day. The research that I did, it helps thin out the blood, oxygenate the blood. If you're, exercising, you have oxygen in your blood, cancer doesn't thrive in that. It thrives in slow moving situations where the blood slows down. That's where it will gravitate towards. So to eliminate that, I do whole house filtration on my home. Take showers. You get exposed to toxins through your body, through your skin. So I try to protect myself in that area as well.
You do brushing or?
I do,
Mhm.
yeah.
So, so after breakfast and all that, now, do you, I know we talked about it earlier about the coffee enemas. Do you do that in the morning or at
In the
night or
evening,
evening?
yeah, it's early, usually early evening. It's my time, my quiet time. I'll make my coffee up, do my prayer. I do my prayer time
Mhm.
and read the Bible daily. So it just gives me a good feeling when I cleanse that way. It removes the toxins from your filtering system, your
Mhm,
kidneys, your
mhm.
liver, everything that all the toxins that build up, they get released
Yeah.
through the coffee enema.
How long does that usually take you to do a coffee enema?
It varies. If I want to get in and get it done quick without the Bible study, it may take 45 minutes. So it's not terribly long. The routine is natural to me, second nature now. In the beginning, it's a little uh, daunting to try to take in everything that you have to do. You have to
Yeah.
prepare it a certain way. You have to administer it. It's a learning curve. So in the beginning, it's a little uncomfortable. It's not natural that you're going to give yourself
Yeah.
an enema, but to me, it's the best thing of the protocol, the best part.
So, yeah, I've done coffee enemas myself and it does make you feel really well. It's just, you got to get used to that. And, I myself like to do, colonics,
Right.
which is different, but it's like a big giant enema or something, and I don't do it every day, but I like to do colonics, regularly and, but, with that, when you first started out, you probably did more than one a day
Yeah,
sometimes,
I was
didn't you?
doing it twice a day, mornings and evenings. So you carve out time. You
Yeah.
just make it a part of your routine.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't want to, but it's like if I don't, I already know what I'm missing.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing to get the toxins out, and it relaxes you. And
Oh, yeah.
you have to get up off the couch. You get comfortable, and you want to have somewhat of a normal routine. But to me, it's essential. So I live that way.
So you exercise too? You walk
Yes,
or
yeah.
run or?
I normally will walk a couple miles a day. I live on a little bit of property, and
Mhm.
I have a dog that I take out with me, a very, very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
She is
She's raring to go, right?
she's ready to go. She knows as soon as I, do my little prep that we're going for the walk. And it's good. It's good to get out and enjoy nature
Yeah.
and be appreciative of what God has given us,
I know you live up, in the woods pretty much, don't you?
Yes, yeah, I live on a little, 17-acre piece of property. It's what I consider, a blessing.
Mhm.
Grateful for that, and I encourage the family to come out and enjoy it. We four-wheel, we enjoy the fishing in the pond, and
Well, you're backed up to, national forest
yeah,
around there
yeah,
too, right?
pretty
Pretty close?
Yeah,
So there's
San
roads
Houston,
all in
yeah.
there. You can go all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean, I lived near Tom, didn't know Tom back then, but I used to live in Texas and I lived out in the country myself and,
mhm,
on acreage and when I go to down north, well, I have a home north of Houston that, a couple of months out of the year I'm down there, but I love to go bike riding. And we go mountain biking all over those back roads into those, not down where you live, but on the other side,
mhm.
other side of north of New Waverly and kind of up in the national forest.
Yeah,
And
Huntsville area, yeah.
yeah, we go all over, and I love that area. I like to go all over the Texas farm roads, and we do a lot of that when I'm there. But anyway, it's a wonderful area. But so you go for a walk and then you come back. You take a lot of supplements, I know.
Yeah, it's
Through the day.
averages, between 150, 185 pills a day.
Wow.
Everybody is pretty shocked at the amount, but you make them into packets. They're
Mhm.
easily accessible. You take some with food, some without food.
Yep.
And primarily enzymes, pancreatic enzymes. They're from uh, Australia Organic Farm that they send all the material to make the pills. And
How many of those you take a day?
it's roughly probably 130 of the 185. So
185
130 of the pancreatic
a
enzymes
day you
a
do?
day. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So,
So that makes sense, though. You've always taken a lot, right?
Oh,
Since
yeah.
you started,
yes.
because you had pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
And what they found, well, I've read this, I don't know, I'm not the expert on this, but what I've heard that they found, some of the doctors I've interviewed that said that people that have cancer, especially pancreatic cancer, tend to be very deficient in pancreatic enzyme production.
Right.
And then, it's kind of, that's probably what really created a lot of your issues.
Well,
I'm
that
thinking,
that part of it was, Kelly's study too, and
Mhm.
he treated himself for his cancer, and Dr. Gonzalez believed in that protocol, and people from all over the world sought him out.
Yeah.
So for me, it was no question, no doubt. The protocol is not a quick fix. It's not take a shot or take a pill and you're
Mhm.
fixed. It's a lifestyle change.
Well, I mean, just so everybody knows, this is what I take
Yeah.
in the morning every day. And there's about 75 or so pills in here. And I've been doing this for, 30 something years, been taking all these supplements. And at night I take less, but I take about 125, 130 pills a day myself. And I eat an organic diet and
Mhm.
I exercise first thing I do in the morning is exercise because like he goes for the walk, sometimes in the winter I can't go for a walk, but I go for a bike ride or I have a home gym. I go up there,
Right.
that's my first thing. Cause if I don't do it in the morning, I don't do it.
Right.
A lot of times I get to working or doing something and I can't do it all. And then you come home and, you want to do something else for yourself or whatever. But anyway, so I think that the saying that Dr. Isaac says, I say it, a lot of people say it, it's kind of like the right diet, supplementation, right supplementation, uh, and detoxification program.
Right.
And I mean, I like to say that, emotional health is important. Like he said, there's a lot of stress and a lot of fear related to cancer and we're all under stress in this day and time. I mean, it's living on the planet is stressful.
Yeah, I think believing in the being it,
Mhm.
that you're going to beat this no matter what
Yeah,
is huge. If your mindset is, I've got this,
yeah.
I'm gonna do it, and
Don't you think that's 50% or more?
oh, at least,
I do too.
faith is another thing that,
Yeah.
prayer. I pray about it. I pray for other folks that have sought me out and asked me,
Mhm.
my opinions and so forth. But to me,
Wow.
it's all about a positive attitude and
Mhm.
never giving up. Don't quit.
Yeah, so you take your supplements through the day and your enzymes. I think most of the time you probably have to get up early and take enzymes, start taking enzymes early, and then you just take them through the day.
Right. I wake up at 4 in the morning. Typically wake up anyway to use the restroom, and that's I guess the most important time to take a dose, according to Dr. Gonzalez, was your body is more susceptible to absorption.
Mm.
When you're at rest in that state.
Is
So
that when you take the most at that
no,
time?
it's just
Divide it out.
just
You just take the pills? I mean, do you take them, they're tablets?
yes.
Do you take them, just one tablet and, just keep
I
putting them
usually
in like that, or do
I
you grind
usually
them up or?
usually do about 4 or 5 at a time, and take a mouthful of water and swallow them.
Yeah.
4 or 5 doses like that, and I've taken the packet.
You get used to it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I do. I take 4 or 5 pills and just, bump,
Yeah.
and then drink some water and 4 or 5. I go to a restaurant and they'll say, "Are you gonna take all those pills?" And I said, well, yeah." And I say, "I've been doing it a long time. I guess why stop now, right?"
Right.
You know, I don't get into my story,
Yeah,
but
there's
it's
other.
fun. It's funny, but I just if I go out to dinner with somebody, I usually pull out my pills and they kind of look at me. But people that know you, they don't. I mean,
It's part of the
it's
process.
part of it.
Yeah.
But you're doing that every day. You've been doing it for the last 12 plus years, and
Mhm.
you're doing great. And now you're doing the coffee enemas. Anything else you're doing, like saunas or anything?
Yeah, infrared saunas, I'll get exposed to that occasionally.
That's good.
My family I'm visiting up here has one in their
Mhm.
house, and
Yeah.
I'll use that. Acupuncture, that's, to me, that is very important to get your body, anything you can do to enhance your immune system and to make your body function optimally.
Mhm.
That's the key. If your body is able to take care of itself, then you wouldn't even have to take these pills if your
Yeah.
body worked it like it should.
Yeah.
But if you're deficient, then you need to find out where you're deficient and bolster it. I encourage everyone to check out a good nutritionist, your wife. And
Well,
she's been in the business for 40 plus years,
yeah.
probably, right?
Yeah.
And she knows what's good for her body and encourages others to do that.
Yeah. You need to consult with people from time to time, I think. But once you get on the right track, and I'm sure, functional medicine testing can be very helpful for people to make sure that, everything looks good on that level. And if you have a regular doctor that, I mean, I know you're working with Dr. Isaacs, but do you have another doctor you work with?
Locally, there's a couple that are, naturally
Oriented.
oriented.
Yeah.
They have the medical degree, but they do, tend to, encourage people to do things natural.
Well, I agree, and I think you need to find someone. That's important, because last thing you need to do is go to somebody that thinks you're crazy, for doing all this, and, "Oh, you better get to that oncologist, and you better do this and that, and oh, you're playing Russian roulette and all that kind of stuff." That I mean, that's just fear. It just scares people, and
Right.
you need to find somebody that says, "Look, you look great. Everything's looking good. You're doing special testing." He's working with one of the best natural cancer-oriented doctors probably in the world. And I mean, I really believe that. And, it's just especially for pancreatic issues,
It's important to make that connection, to get, to educate yourself, to know if you're going to go the traditional route. And I'm not questioning people's decisions. I support them. I pray for them. But if you're going to, go that route, question them, ask them questions, and make good, sound choices, because
Mhm.
you're not just going to follow somebody's advice the first time they say something. You want to do some research. How long has that cancer been in your
Yeah.
body? I mean, typically you've had that in your body for a long time. It just
Yeah.
surfaced.
10, 12 years or
Yeah,
more.
the evidence has surfaced, and you discovered it. I discovered mine through passing kidney stones and had a CT scan. So if you find that you've got the cancer, read up on it, what other alternatives there are. It's important to have that, information to make a good choice.
And a lot of people, when they're going through this, it's nice to be around like-minded people, support,
Right.
and to be around, people in your area that are positive. And there's a group that I really like. It's called Healing Strong.
Mhm.
Healing Strong is a wonderful group. Susie Griswold is the founder. She's just a cancer survivor herself, and I just think the world of her. She's a wonderful woman, and helps thousands of people and pours her heart and soul out to people. And it's a faith-based group, but it's a wonderful organization and very caring, and you can meet, and they're all over. They have chapters all over the country, and you can meet people that are going through a lot of the same things, and it's nice to not feel like you're all alone. Sometimes in certain places you live that you feel like that, and it gives you that support, other than the American Cancer Society, which is more, based on, conventional treatments and chemotherapy and radiation and all that. I'm not saying that's bad. Everybody makes their own decision. But if you're doing a more natural oriented program, find you a really good local doctor that, like Tom said, get involved in something, or get around people that think like you do, or don't think you're doing the wrong thing. And also, just know that these people are there to help you, and I like to throw that out there every once in a while. But
there are other, avenues too. I mean, online, it's gotten to the point where, there's seminars that are available for nutritional support, and the one that I've been following, Food Heal Me series, that's been out now for a couple of weeks, and that's Damien is Garens, and he's, I think Australian, and he's the one that's been leading that particular series. It's about just focusing on what can make you healthier.
yeah,
And we all treat our cars, change the oil and do the necessary tune-ups. We go to the dentist, we take care of our teeth or our eyes. But what do we do for our bodies other than, the exercise regimens that you can get into? I think what you put into your body is going to, ultimately lead to success. So if you put good food in, your body's gonna run, like a well-oiled machine.
So that's what you want. And you mentioned the teeth. Make sure that you go to a biologically oriented dentist also, and someone that's trained in natural dental care, because there's a lot of toxicity in our mouths, in our teeth. A lot of people have issues with mercury amalgams. Some dentists are still using that type of practice with materials in their practice. Mercury is a very toxic substance, and check out my interview, by the way, with Dr. Stuart Nunley and Dr. Lane Freeman. They're excellent dentists, and they're actually down in Texas, in Marble Falls, Texas. But I mean, he studied with Dr. Hal Huggins, which was one of the modern day masters with mercury amalgam removal and root canal issues. If you have root canals, if you have mercury fillings, you want to make sure that this stuff is taken care of, because I mean, that could be just a time bomb waiting to explode. And don't take it from me. Check out those interviews, and you'll see. And or find you a good dentist. There's look up. There's some different references you can go to. You can go on the back of our website, TempletonWellness.com, and find some of that, or in my book, in the back of the book, and search through your area. So the teeth is a big deal. I mean, it's just overlooked by a lot of people. And so it's diet, detox, supplementation, and detox. You got to get rid of that stuff, and it doesn't come out easily. You got to get rid of the culprit. Where's it coming from? And I mean, some of this stuff just takes a little money and a little patience and all that, but slowly but surely you most likely will get a lot better. And like what Tom's doing, he spends a lot of his time taking care of himself. So do I. People think I'm always in a rush because I'm always trying to do things for myself. I put myself first.
Mhm.
You don't put yourself last. You don't put your business first. It's your life. You got to take care of yourself. Your family's important. Don't put your family before you. If you're healthy now, you can enjoy your family more and you can support your family more and do the things you need to do.
Great.
Because if you're not around, nothing matters. If you don't have your health, all the money in the world, all the success in the world doesn't go very far. It's like, what for? You don't feel like doing anything. What's the sense of it all, right? I mean, he knows.
I feel healthier than I've ever been. So,
Yeah.
if you think about what it is that makes you happy, if you're not, poor health can just ruin you emotionally. It's hard to come up out of that. So to keep your body running like it's supposed to run,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be so much happier. And I wanted to see my grandkids grow up. I wanted to spend time with them. So
Yes.
it was an
Myself.
easy decision to avoid the chemo and the radiation and all that traditional therapy. So
Yeah.
if it's something that you choose to do, then I support your decision. It's your body. But
Yeah.
I also think that if you educate yourself, it might change your mind. It might influence you to at least try some natural therapies or supplementation if you go that route. Seek out what you can do to get the toxins out of your body, because it's that is ruining your immune system.
Mhm.
So if you want to strengthen it, bolster it, seek out a good nutritionist. Iridology study is a simple test that you can do to get information about what your body's strengths are, what foods you should avoid eating.
Mhm.
It's key to put good things in that your body's going to accept, make you stronger. So
I agree. Now, is there anything else that you're doing on a regular basis that maybe is that you didn't do at the beginning, or?
I do a lot of chiropractic care, Rosti. It's a form of chiropractic care,
Mhm.
muscle therapy, but it all stems from trying to make your body perform its best.
Yeah.
And if it can do that, your system is going to work like it should. It's going to fight off the colds, the flu,
Mhm.
the other things that you tend to get if your body's run down or weak. You're
Mhm.
going to get a cold, or you're going to get the flu. Some illness. There's other illnesses out there, chronic illnesses that people deal with that are related to diet, poor diet, or not keeping your body healthy. So.
What I think is the battle. I always say the battle, kind of when you go to battle or war or whatever you want to say with the cancer, you got to have all the weapons you can carry, with you into the war, and like we've been saying, a good diet and supplements and detox programs and a good health conscious practitioners to work with when you need to. And there's a lot, but it never ends. I mean, people go, well, I want to get well so I can go back to my old lifestyle. That's the biggest mistake anybody can do. And it's easy to fall into that trap, but this is just my opinion. But the journey or the battle never ends. Let's put it like that. I think of it as like a journey through life, and sometimes almost the best thing can happen to us, even though that sounds crazy when you first find out that, oh, you have cancer. Oh, how could this? I'm a good person. Oh, this is terrible. I'm being punished or whatever.
Well,
It's like everybody's got something. Everybody, we all have something we have to work on. I mean, just because you're on a healthy protocol and you're eating and you're trying to, you still got a few things. I mean, you just keep working at it, and find people that you can consult with or whatever if you need to. But it just is. It's an ongoing thing. But people out there feed their dogs and their horses better than they feed themselves.
Right.
And, and they wonder why they have cancer. And like, oh my God, I got cancer, I mean, why? I mean, look at their lifestyle. Look what they've been exposed to. Look at their lack of sleep. Look at their, you know, just lack of exercise. Most people, this country's everybody's overweight.
Well, and work stressors and all
Yeah,
that.
everybody's
people get-
trying to make a living and pay their bills, and inflation's bad and everything. But all that's very important, especially if you have a family to support. But my God, some people just run themselves in the ground and do themselves in, and they make tons and tons of money, and then they end up spending most of it to recover their health, down the road. And it's just, we know because we've been there and been through it, and we're still going. But you just gotta change your direction and just change your habits, and you can't be perfect. Nobody, I mean, I'm sure Tom has days when he says, well, I'm not doing that today, tomorrow, the new day, I mean, we all do. Or you take a break from the supplements.
Yeah.
I know probably every, couple of weeks, you take a little break. or
Yeah,
something.
we base it on about a 25-day period and take a 5-day break.
So you need it. And sometimes it
little
says, thank
fasting.
gosh, I got a break. It feels good for a few days, right? Then
It does.
you start noticing that I do. When I notice my energy's not as high, and I'm like, I can't wait to get back on the vitamins,
Right, right.
And I mean, people, they live off pills, why do you need to eat? But it's everything, but it's,
And these pills are natural. There's
Yeah.
nothing, prescribed. It's just to
Yeah.
bolster your system and to make it run smooth.
you probably don't take any medications, do you?
No, I try to, if I have a real bad headache, I'll take some Tylenol or something
Yeah.
like that. But, to me, any other kind of pills are, unless you got an infection or something, then, doctors are essential to certain things and they know their business. I don't, scoff at their profession or, put them down for that.
No.
They're needed and they've educated themselves, but I'd like to see, more natural and traditional therapy come together,
Yeah.
and
Integrative.
we'd have some kind of a basis for, some support from insurance too, and
Oh, I
when you
know.
do things naturally, it's not covered.
Yeah,
even-
so it's out
even
of
if-
pocket. That's another thing.
Even if you're saving, a lot of money to, compare what, is typically covered under traditional therapy, it's 100%. But, those are tens of thousands of dollars annually.
It's sad because, a lot of people end up doing conventional treatments and don't do very well. They might start off okay, then, and we hope everybody does well no matter what they do.
True.
We want to, I do, express the fact that, hey, you got to make the decision. We're not saying anything's bad, but we just are kind of veer towards things that seem to make more sense to us, get to the root of the cause and try to overcome things a little more naturally and stay healthy day to day using more of a natural protocol. But it's like the insurance thing is a big deal because a lot of people end up don't have the money, so they just say, well, my insurance covers chemotherapy and radiation and surgery, and surgery sometimes is needed. Sometimes you get rid of this, whatever it is, the tumor or whatever.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need to do that and then get on a program really fast. Don't mess around because it can spread sometimes.
Mhm.
And according to what people tell me, I'm not a doctor. I'm not there saying, oh, it spread. Okay, this one didn't and that one did. But it does. And you want to jump on a healthy protocol, like to me, high amounts of certain, nutrients and things like that to help stop it from spreading. And there's a lot you can do. And, unfortunately, the insurance is a big problem and people end up getting kind of pushed in one direction because of the money issues. And I mean, I do a lot of things. I go see doctors. I go see 90% of the time that nothing covered. Insurance won't cover anything. What good is it sometimes, It just won't cover it. whatever you have, it just like, they go, well, we don't cover that, and we don't cover this, and we don't cover that. You go to a, go to a, naturally oriented doctor, that's what they're gonna tell you.
Yep.
So it's like out of pocket, out of pocket, out of pocket. So folks,
Well,
save your
you-
money, save
yeah.
your money, because nearly 1 out of 2 of us, unfortunately, is gonna have cancer in our lifetime. It's getting worse. I mean, it's like almost 700,000, 600 and, I don't know, 611,000 or something like that. People die, what is it? Every year or something like that. I forget what it is, but 16 or 1,700 people a day die of cancer,
And it's not.
It's more, I think it's 16 or 1,700 die
Typically,
each day
it's
of
not
cancer
good-
in this
not
country.
a good way to die.
No,
either,
no.
Your body is
It's-
riddled with that
Yeah.
chemo and radiation, and then they tell you to go prepare,
Yeah.
call hospice. And to me, that's not the answer.
What's that? 1,700 people a day die of cancer. How much is that? It's 360 times that. Okay. Just 1,600, just for, I had it somewhere, but I don't have it with. 216,000 people.
Oh, sorry, that's
No.
600. It would be 576,000.
So about 600,000 people a year die. That's what it is.
Mm.
Die, according to the American Cancer Society. I think that's 2024 or 2023, one of those. But
Yeah,
anyway, it doesn't matter. It just shows that every year it gets more. And, it's like, save your money, no matter what, for your health, because if you can,
yeah, instead of buying the car, you
yeah,
could
whatever,
put your money towards your health.
Yeah.
So,
But it's what it is, and you gotta, start eating healthy, start doing, things, do your research, because I've interviewed a lot of people that say a little different things. Everybody's saying different things. Some people do very well on a vegan diet, some do very well on a keto diet, some do very well on a macrobiotic diet, some do very well on a, just a flat raw foods diet. I mean, who's to argue? I mean, it's, evidently that whatever they're doing is helping a lot, and some don't do well on it because we see that. This guy did well and this one didn't, so it's discouraging, but work with someone like Dr. Isaacs, and
Yeah,
she knows,
there's
she's
plenty
done,
of-
done the work and has been around. Everybody's individually different. It's not the one, protocol doesn't work for everybody, so.
There's plenty of doctors out there that you can
Yeah.
find that are naturally, natural based,
Mhm.
and they have the background to support it. So,
Yeah. Well, what else do you want to talk about today that, you want to share with people that you do, or?
I just encourage everybody to educate themselves, to stay
Mhm.
focused, and don't think because you've been diagnosed with cancer that's the end. It's not the end. It's just the beginning of a new routine, a new journey. And,
Yeah,
and
that's
to
a
me, I think, I tell everybody, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have this cancer. I'm blessed to be on the journey because of how healthy I am, the things I've learned, and I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying my family. I'm enjoying this trip here, come to this beautiful land that I'm in now, Idaho, so. I
It's
get to
kind of
feel
like a
that.
spiritual journey, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it really is, it's like, at first it seems overwhelming, but after you get on it's just part of your life. It's like having children.
Yeah.
When you're single and you have children, it's like, oh my gosh, we got to do all this now. We got to do this and that. It's the same thing, but now you got to take care of yourself, so. Yeah, anyway, well, I enjoyed talking with you and seeing you,
Same here,
and,
Jim.
we're, think, we'll, probably go have some lunch now, find a good place to eat healthy and
No, you
take
can get
all of
that.
our supplements and get some crazy looks. But,
Yeah.
we're kind of two peas in a pod, I guess, in a certain way, because we we know what it takes. You got to do it, and you just stick with it. And
Well, I pray that somebody gets something good from this message. You
I'm
know,
sure
that
they will.
they're able to find the help that they need and to cure their cancer.
Yeah.
To do it the best way possible. Just seek out the people that are going to be supportive and stay strong.
Well, amen on that. And thank you for coming today. And
Enjoyed it, James.
yeah, enjoyed it. And everyone, thanks for watching. And take it from Tom. He's you know, a walking miracle. You know,
Look
but
at
it's
that.
based on what he's done to create that miracle, and you can do it too. And I just appreciate his example, and he's very dedicated. So, you know, check out our Templeton list again. You know, we're going to go eat lunch, as I said, and we're going to go to a restaurant that's on Templeton list and enjoy it. But organic farm to table restaurants, they're all over the country, and this is all about giving back. This is something that we do. It's a labor of love. It's you know, we don't do anything for money here. If we make any money, it goes back to the foundation to help get the message out. It's all about helping as many people as we can here at Templeton Wellness. And anyway, thanks for watching, and check out all our other interviews and videos. And I really appreciate every one of you, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Have a good day.